everyone. Okay, so today is International Yoga Day. If you are looking at the video today, it'll be the 21st of June. Now, for this year, the theme for International Yoga Day is Wellbeing, which is great. We've had a whole year, or more than a year now, of being in a pandemic, and yoga seems to have taken an all-time high and put a lot of people's list of priorities right up there at the top, and rightly so. Now, even though it is just International Yoga Day today, this is the 21st of June, International Yoga Day for me should be every day, or every day in everything that we do. So it's not necessarily doing a yoga practice as such and spending about an hour or so on there. You can spend 10 minutes even a day, or even sitting and having a meditation practice as well, just brings you into that yogic state. So for today, our theme is going to be well-being. So you could just set yourself a nice little scene, first of all. So just take yourself off to maybe a quiet spot if you do have a quiet spot in the house. Now, I know even I've been doing yoga for quite a while, and while my children were growing up, and our husband as well, heavily into punk rock music, there was not a lot of quiet places in the house. So, you just do it where you can. And if there's all those outside interferences coming in, just let them be there and you'll soon learn to ignore them. But if you do, and you are able to have a nice little space, then light yourself a candle. So it's always nice to try and make it quite symbolic what you're doing, and to go through a little bit of a ritual. So for starting your practice, so light yourself a candle. It doesn't have to have, I'm not really into smells. So yeah, just a plain candle. Just having that flame there is really nice. And just to set your scene, really. If you don't have a yoga mat, don't worry about it. You can quite easily just do this on the carpet, on the floor, so as long as you have a little bit of cushioning though for your knees when we're doing the kneeling down ones. If you don't have any yoga blocks, which I know some of you are not going to have, then just a couple of books or a firm cushion or something like that. So I'm going to get you just to bring yourselves just to sitting down, just to begin with. Now, I've just sat straight away into this position. Sit however you feel is comfortable for you. Now, normally my practice is influenced by quite a dynamic and energetic feel to it. So we're not going to worry too much about that day. I want to be able to incorporate as many people as I can doing this practice. So it is going to be a little bit more low-key than normal, a little bit quieter practice, and a little bit slow, and at times just slightly more restful as well. And that seems to have been a little bit of a theme as well running through the year. Lots of people seem to have wanted to quieten down, or lots of people have been forced to quieten down. And when we're forced to quieten down, it really makes us, or it helps us to go inside and look deep and see just maybe things that we need to address in ourselves. This is maybe why the time has been a little bit uncomfortable for some people, sitting with yourself in that quiet space. So, with our well-being in mind, here we are, just sitting. Now, just give your shoulders a little bit of a roll back, just a little, and have a little bit of a wriggle out, just so you feel as if you are connected down to whatever it is your base. So I'm sat up on my blocks, as I say. This helps just to lift your spine. And it helps to keep your spine nicely lifted and your pelvis in the correct position. So we're just going to give our shoulders just a little bit of a roll back. Now, if there's any point in the practice where you feel it is a little bit much, then just quieten it down, and just, you can always take a few minutes and just sit one of the moves out, or just sit quietly. Maybe just watch a few times before having an attempt at it. For some of you and some of my students that are doing this, it may be a much more quieter practice for them. If you can see the opportunity just to take the pose a little bit further, or to maybe go into something a little bit more advanced, then, just go for it if you want to. Okay, so again, just get your shoulders now, give them a little bit of a roll back. And let the shoulder blades move back and down. Let the hands just rest onto the legs. And gently close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. So this may be the first time in a long while that you're really sitting just with yourself, just to be able to focus on your breath and just to take stock of how you actually feel. Even though we have had time, a lot of us have had time on our hands over the last year, we still tend to fill that time with doing things. So let's just take some time now, some time out, quieten it down, close your eyes and breathe. Soft, smooth and gentle breath. So right to the top of the inhalation and then right to the bottom of the exhalation. And again, and just following that breath all the way through. So following it right to the top of the inhalation. You may recognize there's a slight pause at the top of the breath. And then allow it just to fall into the exhalation, following it all the way through to the end of that exhalation. Again, there might be a slight pause before the inhalation takes over again. And then at the bottom of the next exhalation, softly open the eyes. And again, just lift your shoulders and roll them back. Bring your palms together at your heart center. So thumbs are just gently pressing in towards that breastbone. And then we're just going to dip the chin in ever so slightly, as if looking down towards the hands. And again, just closing the eyes. Now make sure the body feels quite soft. So even though we're sat tall, we want to make sure that we're not too rigid in this pose. Just soften it out. If we can, keeping that attention on the breath. And then just feeling the balance of the right and the left side coming together. Now take this time now just to set yourself an intention for your practice. So an intention takes us to maybe where we want to be. So an intention of doing. Or an intended state of being. So whether you're clearing headspace, or whether you're working on the body in a physical way, set your intention. Now, if your intention is to mend a bad back, that is more of a wish. So think about what you need to do to be able to get to that point of having a nice healthy back. And then when you have your intention, bring your thumbs up just to the space in between the eyes. So we come up into the Ajna chakra, our center for clarity, for intuition, knowledge and wisdom. And then taking the hands up over the crown. So your intention is then out there. Draw the hands back down towards your heart center. And the heart center, the Anahata chakra, is our center for love and compassion. So always remembering to work with love and compassion for yourself. And then releasing the hands down. So keeping the hands just onto the legs. And we can start just to take a little rock forward. So bringing the belly and the chest right forward. And then bring it back. So pulling back. and then forward again. And as we're forward this time, we can just remove the block or cushion from behind us and then sit back and pull back. So again, coming forward and then back. And just doing this a few times. Now, even though my hands are onto the legs, I'm not pressing down, I'm not dragging myself forwards and back. I'm allowing the spine just to move, and we want to get that freedom moving in the spine. So it's from the center of our body that everything else starts to move. So moving from our center outwards. So once we've started to move the spine and we're feeling that we're getting a little bit mobile and a little bit easier with each movement, then we are going to take hold of the legs and we're just going to hold on tight. And I'm going to just edge my chest forward. So really feel as if your shoulder blades are pulling back, and then bring it back again. And then again, pull. So use the shoulders and pull yourself forward, and then coming back. And then forward, and then back. And then just once more. So pull yourself forward, and then back again. Now come back to upright. If you feel as if you're really tipping back, sit yourself back up onto a block or your cushion again, but otherwise just sat upright. Now I'm going to bring our right hand down to the floor. I'm going to take my left arm up in the air and bring that up and over the head. Keeping my left hip down to the floor. So arm going over. Bring my hand back down and then taking the other arm up. So we inhale, lifting up, exhale, coming right over. And then inhale up, exhale back down. Inhale, arm going up, exhale going over. Inhale up, exhale back down. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale down. Once more, so we inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale down. Last time to the left side. So inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale back down. Now I'm going to take a nice simple twist just round to the right hand side. So we're just going to take the left hand back behind us. So bring the hand round, place it down onto the floor. If you do have a wall near, then as long as you're not jarring in the shoulder, you can take your hand back onto the wall if you want to. So hand onto the floor behind, if you prefer. Take your left hand across, press it down. Inhale, lift up, exhale as you turn. So notice I'm not pulling my way around, I'm pushing down, keeping the spine long as I'm turning and looking back. Keep the height in the body, and then returning back to the center. So ready for the other side. So we can take our left hand back, right hand going across, press it down, inhale, lifting up, exhaling, turning and looking back. Inhale, keeping the height, and exhale, coming back round again. So once more to each side. So right hand going back, left hand going across, press it down, inhale up, exhale, turn and look back. Inhale up, exhale, turn, coming back again. Last time to the left. So bringing your left hand back round, right hand going across, inhale, lifting up, exhale, turning and looking back. Inhale up, exhale, coming back to the center. Okay, so from here, we're just going to place the hands down onto the floor, slide your hands, or you can just crawl them forward and just come in as far forward as you can comfortably go. Some of you maybe have the forehead down onto the floor, some of you may be right up here. So whichever is going to be fine. So we're just going to come down as far down as you can comfortably go, and then walk the hands back up again, lifting up. I'm going to change the legs, the crossover of the legs. It will feel very, very weird. Hands back down. And then again, either walk or let the hands slide forward and coming down. And then all the way back up again. We're going to turn just round to one side. And I'm going to place my hands back behind me. I'm going to bring my feet in. So your ankles are underneath the knees. Pressing the hands down, lift your chest up, and then press through the feet and start to lift your hips up. So we're coming up into like a tabletop position, and then bring it back down again. So again, press down, lift your chest, lifting up. This time, if it feels okay, let the head go back, and then back down again. Okay, we're going to either go for the same one again, or those that feel okay with it, take the legs out straight this time. So let the legs roll in towards each other. Hands are pressing down, really point your toes, lift the chest up, and then pressing down, lifting up, head going back, press down out of those shoulders, lift, 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 and then releasing back down again. Okay, push away through the heels, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll, and then come over onto your hands and knees. Okay, so hands going underneath your shoulders. Feet are going about hip distance apart, knees underneath the hips. Okay, from here taking a little cat stretch. So we start up in a neutral spine, and then we can start just to arch up on the back. So arching up and exhaling. Inhale as we allow the spine to dip down, lifting the chest and looking up. And then exhale, pulling up, head down, tailbone tucked under. And then coming back through the other way. And then again, arching the back as you exhale. And then inhaling, coming back through. Once more, arching the back, pulling up. Inhaling, coming up and through. And then come back into a neutral spine. Have your big toes together, take the knees out a little bit wider than your hips. Bottom is going to go right back towards the heels, and your head is going to, your hands are stretching forward and your forehead down to the floor. Really give those arms a nice big stretch out. The whole time you're stretching with your arms, you're aiming to just push back as much as you can with your hands, so it's encouraging us to open up a little bit more through the hips. Okay, so from here, come up onto your hands and knees. Now, if you do have that rug or blanket or anything underneath your knees, you can just move that over just to one side. We don't need it just for the moment. Okay, so hands are down nicely, spread the fingers out. I'm not going to go too much into a full description of that, so I want to just try and keep it a nice steady flow in the class and really keep your focus. So the toes are going to keep that tucking under. We're going to take a little push back, and then from here start to straighten out with the legs. Now as we straighten up, we're coming up into a pose called Ardha Mukha Svanasana, so downward facing dog pose. Now when we come up, may feel a little bit tight in the legs, so we're just going to start just to pedal out a little bit with the feet. So just pedaling out, maybe starting to get a little bit of the cracking going out from the toes and the ankles. So everybody knows me well, they know that I usually crack quite a bit. So if you do hear anything, that will be, yes, my ankles and my knees and my toes. Okay, so from here now, I want you to then come forward just into a plank position if we can. You always have the option of just bringing your knees down if you want to. Take a breath here, so inhale and exhale. And then pull all the way back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. Now, making sure that when we go back, we're not collapsing down in the back. So keep your rib cage tucked in. Make sure it feels as if it's housed evenly in the skin. Now, hands are just nicely pushing down. That middle knuckle, we're just going to aim to keep that lifted. We're not pushing down quite so much with the whole of the fingers. Okay, so from here, come right up onto your toes and then bring the knees down to the floor. Release the feet, take the bottom back and then the head down. Bring your hands back and just rotate your wrists. So making a fist and just rolling them round. Okay, now if it feels okay, we can just then sit back just onto your heels. If that's really awkward, take a block just between your legs so you're sat just slightly higher up. Okay, so give your shoulders again a nice roll. Take your hands straight out in front, interlock your fingers and turn your hands over. Push away through the hands. Keep that rib cage drawn in as you take the arms up and over the head. So a nice long stretch up. Keep the bottom down towards the heels. So we're keeping the spine long, keep the rib caged in so it's housed evenly in the skin. And then bringing your hands back down. So we're going to turn the hands over, whichever hand you have with the index finger on the top, slide them all down one, and then turn the hands back over again. Keep that rib cage drawn in, and again, taking the arms up and over the head. Nice long stretch up, so palms facing up towards the ceiling. Keep the bottom pushing down onto the heels. It's giving a nice long stretch out, just along the shins, knees, a little bit into the front of the thighs and the tops of your ankles. Okay, and then bringing your hands back down. Okay, we're just going to come back over again just onto our backs. Now, once you come over onto your back, give your legs a nice long stretch out, and you'll really appreciate it after that last one. So push away through your heels, pull your toes back up towards your head. Now, hands are just down by your sides to begin with. Keep that rib cage tucked in. Really feel as if we're shortening out a little bit more just in your, any of the squashy bit between your pelvis and your rib cage. Really feel as if we're closing off that space, but lengthening out in the spine. Now, hands are down by your sides. We're going to aim to keep as much of the back onto the floor as we can as we bring those arms up, and we're taking them up and over the head. Nice long stretch back. So if the hands come to the floor easily, then you're just aiming to push away with the thumbs, but to stretch the fingers back. And then bringing the hands back down again. Now this time as you take the arms up over the head, now as you're making the movement, so we're coming up and over, we're pointing the toes. Feel as if the legs are rolling in towards each other. And then bringing the hands back and push away through the heels. And then once we're there, draw the knees in towards the chest. Nice big squeeze in. And we can take the arms out to the side, so either straight, or if you're a little bit tight for space, then just you can bend your arms. And we can take the legs over. You're going to go first of all just over to your right hand side. Aim to keep that left shoulder down as much as you can. Now we're making the movement as you exhale. That should help to draw your belly back, protecting the spine. Take a breath there. And then we're coming over to the other side. So that's it. Exhale, going over. Keeping the opposite shoulder down. You know, we'll notice that one shoulder will want to pick up maybe a little bit more than the other side. Take a breath. And then again, back to the center. Oh, sorry, Mr. Much rumbling. Okay, grab hold of the legs, pull the legs in, squeezing in, holding into the ankles, and then draw your belly back a little bit more. Maybe lift the head, bringing in the forehead in towards the knees, and then releasing back down. So we're going to hold onto our right leg, hold onto that shin, take the left leg, stretch it out along the floor, pushing away as much as you can as you draw in that left leg in. Take a breath. And then draw the left leg back in. So you can squeeze both legs in and then take the hands over to that left leg as you stretch away with the right leg. Nice long stretch out as we're squeezing in with the left. Take a breath. And draw the leg in. Squeeze it in. Last time lifting the head up and release back down. Now I'm going to take a little rock and roll to bring yourselves up to sitting. So you can just work this as easy as you like. So coming up, rolling down, coming up, and all the way up to sitting again. So we're going to turn ourselves back over again, back over onto your hands and knees. Now you may just want that blanket that you moved out of the way. You might just want that handy just for your knees if you want it. Now hands are going to go just onto the floor again, so hands about shoulder width apart. Tuck the toes under. Have your blanket just kind of level with your knees, just off at one side slightly. So from here, nice big deep breath in. And as you exhale, lifting up, pushing up again back into the Ardha Mukha Svanasana, that downward facing dog pose.
So we're just going to ease it back. Again, if you need to, just pedal out a little bit with the legs as much as you need to. You might hear again little bits of cracking. Okay, now from here, now again, if you are feeling that weight a little bit onto your wrists and on your shoulders, really push it back, get the weight heading back so the bottom is heading further back. Okay, from here, take your right leg, lift that leg up in the air. Aim to keep your hips fairly level. Look forward to the top edge of your mat. Now step that leg through. If that's not working, if you managed it and you got here, to bring it forward. Okay, your knee can then rest onto that blanket behind you. Let the foot release back down. And then slowly start just to bring yourselves up. Now again, feel as if when we're straightening out along the floor, we're shortening out a little bit in this front section. Keep that tailbone down, tucking down and taking the arms up. So we don't want to be spilling everything forward. So we're keeping that lift. So we can still get a little bit deeper into this, but again, it's not kind of jutting the belly and the rib cage forward. So keep the arms reaching up, keep that back foot pressing down. So inhaling, looking up. That's it, nice long stretch. And now we're going to take our left hand, bring it down to the floor, keep your right arm up. So we're taking a little bit of a twist. So we're going to reach up as much as we can. Now we're careful not to just spill the right leg out to the side. Keep it in, keep that straight line to the knees facing forward. Take a breath. Now bring that top arm down and again reaching up. So again, we're not wanting to spill everything forward. Keep it in, sink maybe a little bit deeper into it. And then bring your hands down. Okay, so back toes are going to tuck under. We're going to straighten out in that leg, take your front leg back. So we again come back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So we're going to get ourselves ready for the other side. So we know that our knee is going to go down onto the blanket if you need it. So we're going to take our left leg up and then bring that leg forward. Back knee going down. So making sure that your front knee is directly on top of your ankle bone. Back foot pressing down. Making sure that we keep the tailbone tucking under and that we're lifting up through the front of the body, but we're shortening slightly. So we're keeping that in, not allowing it to spill forward. Keep the tailbone tucking, arms reaching up. So we can sink a little deeper into this. This will stretch out a little bit more into your hip flexor at the front of the leg. Okay, from here, this is where we're going to bring that right hand down, keep the left arm up, so it's coming down to the floor, top arm reaching up, press down through that lower hand, working into that nice little twist. Okay, so then bringing that hand down, we come back up again. And bring your hands down. Okay, straighten out through the back leg. Front leg is going back to join it. Now you can move your blanket over again to the other side. If you do need it, I'm going to move that out of the way just so you can see a little bit clearer. Okay, so we're going to go for that again. So lifting up, right leg coming up into the air. Look forward, bring that leg through. So squeeze it in first. And then come forward, placing your foot down. Back knee is going to go down. So maybe scoot the leg back a little bit more this time. Top foot is pressing down. Make sure we're closing off a little bit in the front, lengthening out through the back, taking the arms up, reaching up. Take a breath. And then we're going to take our left arm. Bring it down to the floor, top arm staying up. So looking up towards the ceiling. And again, take a breath. Okay, so from here, the back foot, just tuck the toes, scoot the leg back just a little bit further, and then release that foot again. Now, this may be enough for some of you. If you can go a little bit further, we're going to bend that leg in. Bring the top arm round, grab hold of the foot, and then feel as if you're pushing the foot back to turn and open up a little bit more in the chest. So we're turning, looking up. If you're not at that stage, don't worry about it. You can keep the foot down onto the floor. One more breath. And then release. So top arm coming back up. Bring that hand back down again. Tuck the toes under. And then taking that leg back. Taking a breath. And then with the left leg. So we're taking that leg up nice and high. Keep the hips fairly level, look forward. And then bringing that foot through. Placing your back knee down onto the floor. Top foot, pressing down. Taking your arms up. So remember, not allowing all this to spill forward. Keep it in. Keep the tailbone nicely tucked down. Keeping the length through the back of the body. And lifting and opening through the front. And then we're going to take our right hand, placing it down to the floor. Left arm reaching up. So encouraging the body just to turn to twist that little bit more. And then from here, the back foot, we might want to scoot that foot back and the leg back a little bit more. This may be enough for some of you. If you're able just to go a little bit further, we can lift that leg and then we can bring the hand back. We can grab hold, push the foot back just to turn the chest that little bit more. And then releasing, taking the arm back up and then bring it down. Straightening out in your back leg, take that front leg back again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Now we're going to come forward into a plank position. So holding here, you might want to scoot the feet back a little bit so we don't have the bum up too high. And again, remember what I said about not spilling everything forward. So we're going to keep that straight line if we can in the back. Now from here, pushing strongly with your arms and then see if we can just bring those knees down, relax the top of the feet, and we're just going to ease our hips forward. So it's a little bit stronger on the arms and then slowly start to bend your arms as you're coming all the way down. Forehead down onto the floor, and then as you inhale, lifting with the head, lift with the top part of the chest. Not tempting too much to push into the hands. So just that lift of the head and in the top part of the chest. Tops of the feet are pressing down. And then release it back down. Take your hands out a little bit wider and more level with the face. We're just going to be onto the fingertips. Keep your belly drawing in, tops of the feet pressing down. And then inhale, lifting the head, lifting the chest. There is a little bit of pressure now, just pushing into the hands. Just to help you come up that little bit more. Keep it comfortable. So well-being is all about being comfortable, being happy and healthy. So not doing anything which involves any ouchy type pain. Then exhale as you come all the way back down. So bring your hands back a little bit lower, just more near the rib cage for now. Now, if you're familiar in your practice, you can come up through Chaturanga and then back into Child's Pose. So I'm going to show you both ways. I'll show you the simpler version first. Push with your hands, come up onto your knees, and then go back into Child's Pose and take your hands back. Okay, if you're coming up through Chaturanga, squeeze into your belly. We can have the feet tucked under this time. Okay, so push back, we get the knees away from the floor, we can lift the head, push down, squeezing it, coming up, And then we can push back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, then down to the knees, and then into your child's pose. So hands just back by your feet. Take a couple of breaths here. If you need to, you can just rotate your wrists. Okay. And then again, take your arms forward, nice long stretch forward. Now you do that with your bottom back down onto your heels. Come forward. Now either from here on your knees, or you can just go up from your plank position. Okay, so if you're onto your knees, you're going to be bending your elbows, ideally with them going back, and then bring yourself all the way down to the floor. So if you're doing this the other way, if you go, you can go up through a push from plank position and then through chaturanga. If you're chaturanga, make sure you're forward enough so when you're bending your elbows, slow, 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 and then down. Okay, so everybody's down on the floor now. Give your legs a nice little stretch back. Bring your hands back behind, interlock your fingers. So forehead is down onto the floor to begin with, and your hands are into your small of your back. So the elbows will be bent at this point. Tops of the feet back, really feel as if the legs are shooting a little bit more together. Unless you do have some back issues, then you can take the feet out a little bit wider. Okay, now as we inhale, we're going to aim to lift the top part of the back. So we're lifting up and then pulling those arms back. Keep the belly squeezing back, keep the legs pushing down. And then releasing back down. So we're going to come up again, and this time we're lifting everything. So well, not everything. So we're not levitating on week one. So we're going to be lifting the chest and lifting the legs. So, okay, so legs are shooting back. So if it feels too much for your back, keep the legs down. So a nice tight firm grip with the hand. Start off with hands in the small of the back, elbows bent. And roll your shoulders back ready. Keep your belly drawing back. Okay, and then when you're ready, you're inhaling to come up. So we're lifting the legs, lifting the chest, breathing as normal. See if we can lift those legs up a little bit higher. And then releasing down. So let the hands go, just roll the hips and turn the head to one side. So just let the hips just go over from side to side. Okay, and then bring your hands back again just by your rib cage. So you remember how we came up before? You can either just press, come up to the knees and then lift up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. If you're wanting to go for it, you're going to go through chaturanga. So tops of the feet are pressing down. We squeeze into the belly, lifting the knees, squeeze those arms, push up and back. So up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And hopefully everyone will be joining us up here. Okay, so from here, edging back, keep your rib cage drawn in. Keep that belly drawing back. So right leg, lift it up in the air. Bring it forward, up between your hands. Look forward to the top edge of your mat. Pushing back into the back foot. Again, from here, we're going to be lifting up. So this time the knee is up off the floor. So we're going to reach up, again, not spinning everything forward. Keep that tailbone tucking under, nice and strong on the back leg. Now bring your right hand down. Left arm is still up in the air. Turn and twist to the right hand side. Then bring your left elbow over that right knee. Bring your hands together. Push the hands together. You can then push away from that knee and turn the body a little bit more. The more you push into the back foot, the stronger and more stable you will feel. Take a breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more. Breathing in, breathing out. That's 3. Look forward, take your arms up, and bring your hands down. Slow and controlled. Take that front foot, take it back. So again, back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Recenter yourself here. And then ready for the other side. So take your left leg up, keep your hips level. Look forward, bring that leg through. So stepping it through. Make sure you're strong and you're stable on that back foot. So squeeze back through your belly, push back, nice and strong with the back leg. And then raising your arms. Again, keep the tailbone tucked in. We're not spilling everything forward. We're keeping it in. Focus on the lift. Now, once we're steady here, we're going to work into our twist. So left hand is coming down onto that left leg. We're going to turn with the right and then bring that arm over. So the elbow is coming over that the right elbow coming over the left knee. Bring your hands together, pushing back into the back leg, turning the body, turn it a little bit more, turn a little bit more. Okay, let's take 3 long deep breaths. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, taking the arms up and slow control, bringing the hands all the way down to the floor. Okay, so from here, we're going to take the front leg back, come forward into your plank. Now either knees down and then flatten down to the floor, or come down into Chaturanga. If you're familiar with it, push your toes away, lift through into your upward facing dog. If you are down on the floor, you can place the hands down, take a little lift. Okay, so if you're still in your Ardha Mukha Svanasana, then you can come back over your toes into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. If you were here in your little cobra pose, come all the way down to the floor and then push back to your knees again and lifting up. Okay, now we're going to look forward to the top edge of your mat. Now you can either walk your feet forward towards your hands, or you can simply look to the top edge of your mat, bend and straighten your legs, keep your belly drawing in, take a jump to the hands. Okay, and then bend your knees. Bend your knees, place your hands on the front of the legs, slowly roll, coming all the way up and taking those shoulders back. Okay, so we're up to standing. A little bit warm, hopefully. Okay, so if you are on a mat, just be wide on your mat. We're going to take a couple of standing poses and then just bring it back down. So we're going to take the feet out legs out about 1 leg length apart, so one of your legs. Okay, so they're out to the side. Feet are facing forward. Hands going to push down onto the hips. Keep a good lift running through the spine. Again, feel here, we're not spilling everything forward. Feel as if it's more crunching in, so we keep the length along the back. Let your arms float out to the sides. So we're going to go into a pose called Trikonasana. So we're going to turn in with our left foot, turning out with the whole of the right leg. Still feel as if you're trying to squeeze the legs together, even though the legs are apart. Now inhale, lift, and as we exhale, we're reaching over, as far over as we can to that right hand side, and then placing the hand down, pushing it into the leg so we can turn the chest and turn and look up. Take 3 breaths. push into the left foot. Squeeze into your belly and float yourselves back up to standing. Turn your feet facing forwards, give your arms a circle, just refreshing those arms. And then ready for the other side. So turning in with the right, turning out with the left. Still have that feeling again of pulling the legs in together. Arms float out to the side. Keep a good lift through the body and then exhale as we float over to the side and bringing that hand down. So we're turning, looking up towards that top hand. And again, 3 breaths here. So we inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Push into the right foot, squeeze the belly back and come all the way back up. Turn the feet back in. You can either walk or jump the feet back together. Okay, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll back. Press the feet down, nice and tall, rolling the shoulders. Bring the hands into your heart center and just close the eyes just for a moment. Think about your intention, which is set at the beginning of the practice. And then opening the eyes and releasing the hands. Okay, now if you do have a yoga block or if you have a chair, then you can place it handy just onto your right hand side. So if you have a block, I'll show you with a block. I'll put a chair over that so I can always just move the chair. Okay, so if you've just got like a dining chair, then that'll be fine. If you're okay with your block, so we're going to be doing Virabhadrasana 2, a warrior pose. Legs need to be a lot wider for this one, wider than the last pose. So our hands are going to press down onto the hips. We're going to give the shoulders a little bit of a roll back. Take a breath. Now, even though the legs are wide, still feel as if you're squeezing the legs together. So this means that we then start to engage the Mula Bandha. So think of the pelvic floor lifting without really doing overworking that. It is a subtle lift, and we get that if we feel as if we're squeezing the legs in. It'll pull in and up. Let the arms float out to the sides. Turn in with your left foot. Turn out with your right leg. We inhale, lift. We exhale as we bend the knee. We're going to keep that knee lined up directly on top of your ankle bone. We inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now inhale, and on your next exhalation, we're going to reach over as far over as we can. Legs are staying still. We're going to bring either our forearm onto the chair, or you can bring it onto your knee, or if you have your block, then you can place your block, however you've got it there, you can place it just behind the leg, and then with your left arm, it's going to come up and over. So you can see there's more of a diagonal line in the body. So if you want your arm there, or onto the leg, or onto the block, or some of you I know will have your hand onto the floor. Okay, so we're pushing back into the left foot, we're reaching into that top arm, feeling the long stretch through the sides of the body. And then push into the left foot, squeeze back through your belly, and then bring yourselves back up again. And then all the way up. Turn the feet back in. Now, if you haven't got the chair there, then you can leave your legs as they are. If not, you're going to have to either walk or jump the legs back in, move your chair over. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way so you'll be able to see me a little bit more clearer. So you can place your block over onto that side. So legs are out, ready for the pose.
Okay, and arms are floating out to the side. Still have that feeling of squeezing the legs in. Then we turn in, we turn out. We keep that lift. We inhale, we exhale as we bend the knee. So bending the knee, we'll come here, which is Virabhadrasana 1. We're going to change this after we've taken 2 breaths here. So we're inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're moving over into Parsvakonasana. So we stretch over, either forearm on the chair, elbow to your knee, or hand down onto your block or the floor. Back arm coming up and over the head. A diagonal line going through the body. Still have that feeling of squeezing your legs together. Pulling in and looking up. Take a couple of breaths here. Okay, push back into your right foot, squeeze back in the belly, pivot the top half of the body, and then straighten out the leg. Turn the feet back in and walk or jump your feet back together. Take a breath, have the hands together, just closing your eyes. Again, just recall your intention. And then softly open the eyes. Okay, release the hands down. Now, if you have a wall just nearby for this next one, so there's a couple of different ways that we can work this. Now, we've been doing a few dog poses, so if you're not really used to yoga and you want to just find that you're comfortable in getting your grounding in that one, then that's fine. You can just stay with that. If you want to take it a little bit further, and you want to just challenge yourselves a little bit more, even if you've never done any yoga before, if you feel fine with it, go for it. So who am I to stop you? So you can take your mat, if you've got a mat, you can take that just near your wall or near the door. I'm going to use the door, and then you can see me properly on this one. So you're going to stand up just to get your measurement, and you're going to take your bottom back towards the wall or your door. Feet pushing away. Now this is going to be your marker for how long your legs are. So wherever it comes to, then we're going to take, so think of your middle of your foot, you're going to place your hands down, about shoulder width apart. Now from here we come up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, that downward facing dog pose again. So from here, we're going to push into the wall so we can get the chest back a little bit further. Now, for those that want to take it a little bit further, so you can either hold here, hang out here if you want to, if that feels okay. Or if you want to go for a little bit further, think about where your hips are. Now, hips are not right up here, so think about maybe halfway along the door. So 1 foot pressing in, and then you don't mess about with it. You're squeezing into your belly, press in, and then coming up. So squeeze your belly back, pulling back, all those instructions which I gave you a little bit earlier about squeezing back through your belly. Press through your hands, lifting up. If you feel okay with it, you can maybe have a go taking one leg up. Place it down. Take the other leg up, really press. And then back down. Bring your feet back to the floor. Come back through your dog pose. So Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And then come down into your child's pose. So forehead down to the floor, hands back. And you might want to just give your wrists again a little bit of a wring out. Okay, so it's at this point, if you are more familiar with your practice, you can maybe turn around and flip your legs up into a handstand if that's where you want to go with it. Okay, but I'm not going to show that in today, only because some of you might come flying off ahead. So, and that'd be better maybe under some instruction. Okay, so I'm going to just move my mat back in.
There we go. And we're just going to start now just to bring it down a little bit. So I'm going to get you just to lie down on your backs, and you're going to have your hands just down by your sides and your knees in a crooked knee position. Your feet are about hip distance apart. Take a few breaths here, just lying on your back. Notice how you feel. Think about your intention. Think about the last time that you gave yourself some care and attention, just purely for yourself. Now, before we move into the next pose, I want you again just to think about the past year. Now, the past year for a lot of people, we always hear that for some people it's been quite doom and gloom. For a lot of people, it's been the best experience of their lives. So if you've been privileged to have not really had anybody close to you with COVID or anything like that, it's been a great opportunity for you to really take some time for yourself and to slow things down a little bit. Now, if that's not the case, just take this time just to allow yourself just to release, just to let go. Let go of anything that has just already happened in this last year. Take a big, deep breath. Breathing in, release, let go. Breathing in, breathe out, release, let go. And again, breathing in, breathe out, release, let go. Now, keeping with that same theme in mind of releasing and letting go. Now, feet are firmly down onto the ground. Our shoulders are down onto the ground. Arms are pressing into the ground. So we've created, and the back of the head is also pressing down. So we've created a strong, steady, firm base. Your bottom is pressing down into the floor at the moment. We're going to press even harder through the feet. You're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, press through the feet. Start to lift the bottom up, lifting the hips, lifting the back up away from the floor. Feel as if the knees are just staying straight in the center. They don't want to be splaying out to the sides. So pressing down, press firmly through the feet. Press down now into the shoulders. Pressing down, back of the head, shoulders, feet pressing down, hips up high. And then just coming back down again. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, lifting up, releasing and letting go. And come back down. And twice more. So inhale, exhale, release, let go, lifting up. And coming back down. And the last one. So inhale, then exhale, pressing down, releasing, letting go. Feel that open feeling in the legs, the hips, the chest. Arms are pressing down. And bring the hands now back behind you. Lift one shoulder. Pop it underneath. Lift the other shoulder. Pop it underneath. Press down even more. Lift that chest up nice and high. Open up through the whole of the front of the body. Now, those that can, maybe you want to just take their arms, separate the hands, place them back, lifting up. So the lifting up into a crab pose. So into Urdhva Dhanurasana. The others just pressing down here, opening up through the front of the body. And then release the hands. So whatever stage you're at, slowly bringing that back down. Big deep breath. Now once you are down, just take the feet out a little bit wider. Let the knees roll in towards each other. Take a breath. And then let the legs just rock over gently from side to side. Okay. And then from here, come back into the center again. And we can stretch the legs away, squeeze into your belly. But now we're going to draw the knees in towards the chest, take the legs up in the air and keep them stretching up. Now, there's a couple of contraindications here. So if you're familiar with the pose, up into Savasana, take yourself straight up. As I say, a couple of contraindications. So if you have hernia, if you have any neck issues going on or glaucoma, then avoid this pose for now. Just keep it down. You can rest. Let me show you. You can always rest as an alternative to the pose that we're doing. Rest with the legs just up the wall and hold here for a few breaths. Okay? So that was for people, and also really high blood pressure as well. You may want to just rest with the legs up the wall. Now, for those who are going up into Savasana, legs are out nice and straight, squeezing into the belly, hands are down. We draw the knees in and then up and catch the back. So hands straight onto the back, lifting up, push away through the heels. Push away now to the ball of your foot. Take a big deep breath. And as you exhale, again, think of releasing, letting go. Bring those feet over the head as far as they'll comfortably go. Take another breath. And on your next exhalation, release the hands and slowly start just to roll yourself down. And bringing those legs down. By all means, bend the legs to bring them in, or if you want the extra bonus of just working into your belly, then have the legs straight as you bring them down. Now, once you are down, again, take a couple of breaths. Legs out nice and straight. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Big squeeze in. Take hold of the right leg, push that left leg away. So again, we're going to finish off our poses just with a nice spinal twist. So left hand comes on top of that right leg. So right arm out to the side. As you exhale, we're taking that leg over and across. Really commit to the breathing. And then bring your leg back. Okay, bring the left leg in to join it. Squeeze both legs in. Take hold of your left. Take the right leg, stretch it away. And then take your right hand just on top of that left leg. So left arm out to the side. I'm going to bash into the wall here. So inhale and then exhale, taking that leg across. I mean to keep the left shoulder down this time. Breathing deeply. And then we bring it back into the center. Draw the right leg in, squeeze into the chest. You might want to lift the head. And then releasing back down. Place your feet down onto the floor. Stretch those legs away. Now, we can just take those arms, roll them out, tuck the shoulder blades under, and bring the hands down just by your sides with the armpits a little bit more open. So take the arms out a little bit away from the body. Take your feet, press them away, slightly wider than the hips. Let the feet fall out to the sides. Bring your hands now. They can either stay in this position or you can bring your hands in, resting onto that lower part of the belly. Keep your chin in towards the chest. You can let the head just turn over from side to side till we feel a little bit more freeing off just in the neck. When you feel as if the neck is free, then just bring your head into the center. Allow your attention now just to focus just on your breathing. Soft, smooth, quiet inhalations and soft, smooth, quiet exhalations. Notice every single part of that breath. So right from the beginning of the inhalation and watching all the way through to the end of the inhalation. Recognize there may be a slight pause and then watch the exhalation from beginning to end and everything in between. And watch for the pause at the bottom of the breath before the inhalation kicks in again. So just noticing the quality of your breathing. When we start to pay attention to the breathing, notice how it starts just to calm itself down, to slow itself down. All the time just working in your favour. So the more we watch, the more we commit to the breath and we're fully aware. Bringing us into a calm state, a calm and relaxed state. All contributing to your health, to your well-being, to your happiness. Take 3 more long deep breaths here. Now you can either remain here for as long as you need, or if you want to now start to gently move the body just to bring yourselves back up to sitting. Then just take a few moments just to gently stretch, just be aware of your surroundings, aware of your sensitivity of touch, taste in your mouth, the sounds that are maybe around you, how you actually feel. So when you have brought yourselves back up to sitting, sit nice and tall, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll, and then bring in the hands together. So when we bring the hands back in, again, we tune back in with our intention. And my intention is always to work with love and compassion. So just taking a few moments, your thoughts now on that intention, maybe widened, opened up. And then taking the hands up over the crown. And we slowly start to draw the hands down, coming down past the Ajna chakra, our center for knowledge, wisdom, our intuition. We come down to the throat, to the Vishuddha chakra, our center for speaking our truth and listening well. Come down to the Anahata chakra, heart center, your center for love and compassion. Move down to the Manipura in the solar plexus, Center gives you your will, your drive, your determination. Come down to the Svadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra. For new beginnings, creativity and change. Embracing it all. Come down now to the base of the spine, the Muladhara chakra. And this is our center for our strength, our stability, creating our foundations. We need strong, steady, firm foundations in order to move forward. Bring your hands back now to the Anahata chakra. Again, the center for love and compassion. And always remembering to hold a place there for yourself. And gently open the eyes. Namaste. So thank you for joining me today. Even if you just get halfway through the video and you've only done that much, then that's fine. Just come back to it another time and just keep tuning in. The more you do, the more familiar everything will feel. It's really nice sometimes to step it up, and it's also nice as well just to slow it down. So take from it what you will and take from it what you need. Okay, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.